Ever since the COVID pandemic started around a year ago, undergraduate students all over the United States have had a very difficult time trying to obtain a job in their field after graduation. The mass shootings that took place in Georgia and Colorado left communities across the country in shock and reignited the debate on gun control. As North Carolina A&T nears the end of the school year, the university gave the class of 2021 a chance to have an in-person graduation. They also gave the class of 2020 a chance to have an in-person graduation as well at BB&T Stadium. When the COVID-19 vaccines became accessible to the public, North Carolina A&T welcomed the new process with open arms. Ever since the COVID pandemic started around a year ago, undergraduate students all over the United States have had a very difficult time trying to obtain a job in their field after graduation. According to the college recruiting website Handshake, 59% of employers told students they are adopting or increasing digital engagement, including virtual events during this time. I caught up with Kashana Fair, a 2020 graduate of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro with a degree in international studies. She says her struggles go all the way back to April.
That I interviewed for was actually panned. So I thought the interview went really well. I thought I had it in the bag. And because of the COVID pandemic, it's a nonprofit. They rely on funding. They decided to close the job up.
I was also able to talk to Felicia Gillespie, a senior at North Carolina A&T majoring in psychology, about her concerns in the job recruiting process.
Definitely, I guess things are definitely up in the air. I do know that restrictions are being lifted now, but that could definitely change. It just depends on how the remainder of
The National Association of Colleges and Employers Job Outlook Survey recently stated that 2021 hiring will be more positive than expected, and almost 17% of organizations responding to the survey plan to increase their hiring levels of 2021 graduates. The mass shootings that took place in Georgia and Colorado left communities across the country in shock and reignited the debate on gun control. According to the Gun Violence Archive, a nonprofit group that catalogs gun violence in the United States, there have been 104 mass shootings in 29 states plus Washington, D.C. so far this year. I spoke with Selena Primus about the frequency of mass shootings in the United States. She's the first responder in our nation's capital.
The person or persons been arrested. Next, as a first responder, I sympathize with my fellow first responders who must mitigate such a gruesome scene.
I talked to Sohaila Jones, a senior criminal justice major at Bowie State University, about her concerns with the prolonged reformation of gun control.
Restriction in regards of guns, for real. Like, I feel like assault rifles, guns, handguns, all of them are too accessible to us. And I don't feel like there's any reason nowadays to have an assault rifle.
While it is impossible to predict what the post-pandemic years will bring, the amount of gun purchases have increased, which means an increase in gun violence will tend to follow, which have prompted advocates to call for stricter gun laws. As North Carolina A&T nears the end of the school year, the university gave the class of 2021 a chance to have an in-person graduation. They also gave the class of 2020 a chance to have an in-person graduation as well at BB&T Stadium. Having an in-person graduation comes with many risks considering the COVID-19 restrictions Governor Roy Cooper implemented for the state of North Carolina. Even though the state was able to get more vaccines, many graduates have family members who are severely at risk in getting coronavirus. Phyllis Melton's son is a 2020 graduate. She's been vaccinated, but she still has some concerns about the in-person graduation.
In place, I feel that we will be safe and we can enjoy celebrating the achievements of our students.
I was also able to talk to Jarrell Wheeler, class of 2021, about his concerns with A&T's in-person graduation.
In the stadium, only 2 guests per ticket. There still is going to be a lot of people in the stands, and I'm just wondering if there's going to be any social distancing or how they're going to plan it out. Because both my parents are kind of at risk. They're a little bit older. They have their own health issues that they're dealing with.
A&T planned ahead for the people who won't be allowed at the stadium, since each student is allowed 2 tickets with the ability to live stream the graduation wherever they are, staying in compliance with COVID-19 restrictions. When the COVID-19 vaccines became accessible to the public, North Carolina A&T welcomed the new process with open arms. A&T set up their vaccine clinic in the Alumni Foundation Center on campus. The university hastily made their transition in ensuring the Moderna vaccine doses were ready to be used. Many students were first in line to receive their vaccines, but there are others who are weary of the quick acceptance. Sydney Melvin is a construction management student who has her own reservations on the side effects of the vaccine.
How it affect everybody else before I decide to get it, because it is like an experimental like round or whatever. And my grandma, her daughter's like mother-in-law, she got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and she had to be rushed to the hospital like after she took it. So I don't think that I'm going to do it just yet.
So I was thinking about getting the vaccine for the graduation ceremony that I was planning on attending at A&T. So I know it's going to be a lot more people there, and it's going to be kind of the first time that I've been around that many people in one space. So just to be cautious.
In that previous clip, Joshua Melton, a 2020 graduate of the university, is making sure he is taking the appropriate stride so his health comes first. A&T has recently changed their vaccine clinic hours on Thursdays from 1 to 5 p.m. for first shot vaccines. For the second shot, an appointment will need to be made.